Good day. Today, we're diving into a fascinating topic that spans across continents and oceans, the International Date Line, or IDL for short. But before we plunge into this intriguing subject, you can revise our discussion on time zones. The link is provided below. Now, why is the International Date Line so crucial? What significance does it hold in our global understanding of time? Join me as we uncover the importance of this invisible boundary and explore the intriguing phenomenon of crossing the line. Ever wondered what happens to your day when you journey across this boundary? Stick around, because today, we're unraveling the mysteries of time and space. At the end of our videos, we have some questions for you to try out. You can test yourself with these before we show you the answers. It's a fun way to see how well you understand the topic. Practicing with these questions not only helps you grasp the material better but also boosts your confidence and performance when facing tests and exams. The International Date Line is on the 180-degree line of longitude opposite the Greenwich meridian, where times change by 1 day between the eastern and western hemispheres. The International Date Line, IDL, is an imaginary line on Earth's surface that defines the boundary between one calendar day and the next. It serves as the demarcation line where one day ends and the next begins. The International Date Line is on the opposite side of the world to the Greenwich meridian. It generally follows the 180-degree line of longitude for most of its length. It is in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. It acts like a giant time divider, separating two consecutive calendar days. The IDL was established in 1884 by the International Meridian Conference as an imaginary line roughly following the 180 degrees meridian. The conference, attended by 26 nations, settled on 180 degrees longitude because it runs through an open ocean, Pacific Ocean, and zigzagged it to keep the surrounding nations, especially island countries, within the same day and date. It zigzags around certain territories and islands to avoid splitting them into two different calendar days. The IDL generally follows the 180 degrees meridian but deviates to accommodate political boundaries and geographical considerations. This avoids causing confusion in some island groups or countries. Imagine accidentally having Monday on one side of an island and Tuesday on the other. When it's 4 p.m. in the afternoon at the IDL, it's roughly 4 a.m. on the opposite side of the Earth. The International Date Line, anti-meridian, divides the world into the eastern and western hemispheres on the Pacific Ocean part of the world. Places in the eastern hemisphere are a day earlier than places in the western hemisphere. Tonga and American Samoa have the same time but are 1 day apart. This is because American Samoa is in the Western Hemisphere, on the opposite side of the International Date Line from Tonga. The International Date Line is crucial for global coordination because it helps standardize timekeeping across the world. This is especially important for businesses that operate internationally, as it allows them to schedule meetings, deadlines, and transactions accurately. For instance, a company in New York can plan a video conference with a partner in Tokyo, knowing exactly what day and time it is in both locations, thanks to the date line. In travel, the International Date Line helps airlines and travelers manage flight schedules and itineraries. Without it, figuring out arrival and departure times would be confusing, as crossing different time zones without a clear point for changing the date would lead to inconsistencies. Similarly, in communication, people can send emails or make phone calls knowing the correct day and time in different parts of the world. This magical line ensures everyone follows the same calendar, making global interaction smooth and predictable. Have you ever wondered what happens to your day when you cross the International Date Line? Crossing the IDL can result in a day being gained or lost, depending on the direction of travel. If you travel from east to west across the IDL, you gain a day. If it's Saturday on the east side, it would be Friday on the west side. When you cross the IDL traveling west, you subtract a day. Imagine departing from Japan, east of the IDL, on Tuesday and arriving in Washington, D.C., west of the IDL. You'd find yourself celebrating Monday again. Traveling in the opposite direction, from west to east, you lose a day. So, a Friday on the west side becomes Saturday on the east side. When you cross the IDL traveling east, you add a day. Suppose you travel from Washington, D.C., to Japan. Departing from D.C. on Monday could mean arriving in Japan on Tuesday. The Earth is divided into 360 degrees of longitude. Time zones are based on these lines of longitude, with each 15 degrees representing a 1-hour difference from the Greenwich meridian, which is at 0 degrees longitude. Places east of the Greenwich meridian are ahead of GMT or Greenwich Mean Time by 1 hour for every 15 degrees of longitude. South Africa spans across a range of longitudes, from about 17 degrees east to about 33 degrees east. This means there is a significant east-west span within the country of about 16 degrees. South African Standard Time, SAST, is currently set based on the 30-degree east line of longitude. This time is 2 hours ahead of GMT or GMT plus 2, since it is 2 complete 15-degree zones east of the Greenwich meridian. SAST is observed throughout the year across the entire country. Given the span of longitudes, one could argue that the western part of South Africa, near the 15-degree east line, should be on a different time zone compared to the eastern part, near the 30-degree east line. Following the standard time zone rules, areas around the 15-degree east longitude would be GMT plus 1. Areas around the 30-degree east longitude would remain GMT plus 2, as it currently is. Despite the geographic span, the South African government has decided to use a single time zone, GMT plus 2, for the entire country. This decision simplifies timekeeping and administrative tasks, but does not reflect the natural solar time as closely as having 2 time zones might. South African Standard Time, SAST, is like a common clock for everyone in South Africa. It helps everyone agree on what time it is and when things should happen, like school, work, business, meetings, and traveling. SAST makes sure that people in different parts of South Africa are all on the same page when it comes to time. Before we conclude, please try to answer the following questions before the answers pop up. You can use a universal time map such as this one for these questions. You can pause the video as you go. Let us meet again as we discuss further on the Earth's revolution around the Sun, the angle of axis, equinox, solstice, and seasonal changes. You can check out the link below for more on this. Please remember to subscribe so that you do not miss our weekly uploads. Otherwise, thank you for watching and enjoy the rest of your day.